Hey guys, this is Bharadwaj with Fonearena.com and this is the HTC One M8. The Taiwanese manufacturer's flagship successor to the One M7 brings some interesting changes on the outside as well as the inside. Announced at an event in New York, the HTC One M8 arrived in India not too long ago with a price of Rs 49,990, with which it aims to offer the best of everything with a slightly updated design, a larger screen and a new camera setup, while retaining all the goodness its predecessor was famous for, like for example the HTC boom sound. So is the One M8 the best HTC device yet? Can it be the flagship device you deserve? Let's find out in our in-depth review. The One M8 is roughly based on the same design philosophy as its predecessor, but it brings forth some improvements in build quality mainly thanks to the use of more metal than plastic. It is now more rounded at the corners and has a nicely curved back that manages to be ergonomically better. But with the increase in screen size, the phone is taller than its predecessor and most other phones with a 5-inch screen. The metal body tends to be slippery and is also prone to scratches over the long term, but it does provide a premium look and feel that you can't expect from any other flagship device. Apart from these changes, HTC has also brought more color options this time, with the gold and grey colors apart from the usual silver. We have the grey one here, so let's start going through the hardware. Over at the front, we have the 5-inch display with the boom sound speakers above and below. While the capacitive buttons are now replaced with on-screen buttons, the space left by them is still there, adding to the length of an already tall device. The 5-megapixel front-facing camera and the notification LED along with the usual couple of sensors also feature above the display. Moving to the right side of the phone, we have the nano SIM card slot and the volume rocker. The rocker is almost flush with the device but has a nice tactile feel. The left side has another slot and this time it's for microSD expansion, a long-standing feature request for HTC's flagships from users. Moving over to the top, we have the rare plastic part of the device that wholly acts as a cover for the IR LED underneath and also houses the power lock switch, which moves from the left to right when compared to its predecessor. At the bottom, we have the 3.5mm audio jack and the micro USB slot. On top of the back sits the duo camera setup from HTC. The top camera unit is a low resolution camera unit solely used for detecting the depth map of the scene, and lower and bigger unit is the same 4MP ultra pixel unit as before. The back is non-removable but packs a decently sized battery that will easily last you a day. The display on the One M8 is a 5-inch 1080p panel of the IPS SLCD3 variety. Suffice to say, HTC has been using great displays for its last 3 flagships and this trend continues with the One M8. The display is just great as expected with great color accuracy, viewing angles and outdoor visibility. In fact, our only quib with the display would be its bezels, especially the bottom one where it actually loses space to the HTC logo. The cameras on the back of the device are what HTC calls duo camera. The One M8's primary camera is still the same old 4MP ultra pixel with 2 microns of pixel size, but loses optical image stabilization this time in favor of a software-based solution. All the second camera unit does is work in tandem with the main one to make a depth map, which is then used for some interesting post-process effects like adding a focus blur to the background like a DSLR, or adding different effects for the background or the foreground. These features are baked into the HTC Sense camera UI, which also has changed a lot. We were frankly surprised to find even manual settings for focus and exposure included, a good step up from before. The different modes now include the stills, video, selfie, dual capture and Zoe from earlier. The usefulness of the second camera is only in the edit part of the gallery where you get U-focus, backgrounder and other effects. You can apply these effects to any photo with a proper differentiation between the foreground and the background, but as with any software, it is not 100% all the time, and that's something we have to live with. The video mode gets a lot of different options like 720p 120fps slow-mo, 1080p 60fps, and of course the usual 30fps. There is no 4K video though, but the performance in all the listed modes are above average. Coming to the internals, we have the slightly advanced variant of the Snapdragon 800 chip, the 801, also known as MSM 8974AC. It comes with a quad-core 2.46 GHz Grade 400 CPU with the Adreno 330 keeping company for gaming. Considering this is a flagship device, we had not a single problem with the performance, be it benchmarks, gaming or general performance. The device comes with 16 gigs of internal storage, which might not be enough for most, but thankfully this time we have the expandable storage option which can flawlessly handle even 128GB cards. One of the highlights when it comes to hardware is the HTC boom sound stereo speakers on the front. They perform with great quality and loudness, blowing away any other phone in the market currently. Even the earphone performance is commendable, making the One M8 one of the best music phones out there. Coming to software, the One M8 comes with the latest Android version out of the box, 4.4 KitKat, and layers its own Sense 6 UI on top. Blink feed is still here, but it has gotten only more useful for those who like it. The UI is clean and one of the best looking skins we have ever seen, to be honest. Some much needed additions come in the form of gesture support that finally lets you double tap to wake the screen. There is a kids mode that lets you configure parental control, there is a TV remote app that lets you use the IR LED and so on. Overall, if you ask us, the software is completely a HTC experience, and only the US market is being serviced with a Google Play edition for the ones who prefer stock Android on the One M8's hardware. But we'd say Sense 6 did treat us well, with features and UI meeting our expectations from a modern flagship. About time, we would say. In terms of battery life, the One M8's 2600 mAh battery surprised us with its performance. It's even better than the already good M7 battery. We could easily get over a day of usage, and with the extreme power saving mode, it was only easier to make sure the device didn't turn itself off. Other power saving features ensure you have complete control over your phone's battery life, which is a good thing. The One M8 is also easily one of the best looking, well-built Android smartphones ever made, and it improves upon its predecessor in many fronts. You have a bigger screen, a better front-facing camera that keeps up with the times, a new second camera unit at the back for enabling interesting post-process effects, but some things have remained the same, like for instance the main camera unit. A 4MP image with overprocessed artifacts is something HTC should have fixed, and it remains one of the very few pain points of the whole One M8 experience. Other minor annoyances like a slippery body, the placement of the power lock switch, and the inability to directly install apps on the SD card aside, the HTC One M8 is truly a flagship, a bleeding edge device that could well be worth your money, depending on your priorities of course. A quick look at the competition will tell you how better the design, the build quality, the battery life, and the music experience will be on this device. And if you don't mind the camera, which is not too shabby really, then the HTC One M8 is the flagship you deserve. To summarize better, listed here are the pros and cons of this device. Anyway guys, that's about it for the video review. We have missed out a lot of things on this review just for the sake of time, so you can read up on the whole HTC One review in the link below. The links are in the description. So do let us know what you think in the comment section below, and also hit the like button if you like our review, and do hit the subscribe if you want more videos like these. Thanks for watching.